guys, this is Joanna. I think it's the first time I'm going to sit down with you guys and give you a little details on what happened on our Taiwan trip. So here's a few guides on how to travel in Taiwan. When I was reviewing the video, I noticed that I wasn't able to explain further what happened there. It was mainly because I wasn't feeling okay. I had a runny nose at that time, and basically the whole time I was under the weather. So tip number 1, you have to identify your budget. So gusto mo ba budget friendly lang? Yung tipong gusto mo lang mag-hostels? Or gusto mo tipid? Or gusto mo medium kind of spending, or you wanna go as high or as expensive as you want? It would really depend on you. So kami, hindi kami super budget friendly, hindi rin naman sobrang expensive. So we really made sure na kontrolado lang yung budget namin and stay in the middle to maximize our stay there and go to different places. So yun yung mga objectives namin before we even planned out our trip to Taiwan. Tip number 2. So as mentioned before, it would really depend on your budget when it comes to your itinerary, your accommodation. Ideally, there are a lot of Airbnbs that you can rent out within the city. Kayo nang bahala kung saan yung gusto. Pero ako, I would personally recommend that you guys stay in a place that is near the MRT station or within Ximending district. So luckily, we found this really good place. It's called Hotel Papa Whale. It's a walking distance from Ximending district and also a few minutes away from the MRT station. It's very accessible when it comes to traveling. If you just want to customize your itinerary, and if you want to maximize the commute or the buses or the MRTs around the metro. So tip number 3, what to pack. So depende siya sa season kung kailan kayo pupunta. Pero kami, nung pumunta kami doon, it was around spring season. Actually, patapos na yung spring season at that time. But surprisingly, when we arrived there, it was so cold. Parang umabot kami ng 16 degrees. Good thing we all brought decent number of jackets and coats with us. On our first day there, it was really hot. And then on the second day onwards, it just dropped. You know, the temperature just dropped. So, hindi mo talaga masabi. Hindi ka pa rin mag-rely sa weather forecast. Number 4, to make use of public transportation. Surprisingly, sobrang ganda ng public transportation nila sa Taiwan. It can be MRT, high-speed rail, bus, taxi, Uber, everything. Sobrang ayos niya, and it's easier for the tourists to understand it. What more kapag matagal na nag-stay doon. On our first day, hindi nga kami nawala. Come to think of it, hindi kami nawala at all. Especially on Taipei main station. Although there are a lot of stations inside Taipei main station, nakakatuwa kasi madali siyang maintindihan. All the signages, sundan mo lang siya. And yeah, I love it. Actually, enjoy staying there because of the transportation. When it comes to taxi or Uber, if you want to make a choice, I would highly suggest that you maximize Uber instead. But then again, nung nandun kami sa Taiwan, we just use Uber as our last resort. Kapag kunyari talagang tipong pagod na kami, or walang ibang way to go from one place to another. There are no buses and stuff like that, so we'd use Uber. When it comes to transportation, they have this card called Easy Card. It's very useful. It's a reloadable card that you can reload on all 7-Elevens, and you just tap it on MRTs, on buses. So madali siya. Also, in case may sobra ka pang pera dun sa Easy Card mo, you can just, purchase the rest of the money on 7-Eleven, and then you're good to go. Tip number 5, when it comes to tours, if you're a kind of person that you're not confident yet when it comes to creating your own itineraries, you can always rely to group tours. Like Klook, there are a lot of different tours available on Klook. Siguro ang magiging limitation nyo lang sa Klook is the time itself. Kasi may specific time siya na okay para sa lahat ng tourist. So kung kunyari gusto nyo magstay na medyo matagal sa Lantern, you can just, rent a private car for that. So tip number 6, if you are like me, who always bring work with them, so far their internet is relatively fast. And nakuha ko yung sa amin sa Klook and just pick it up on the airport. And then just plug it in on my pocket Wi-Fi. Then that's it. So tip number 7, I think this would apply to any country that you go in or that you go to always be open-minded when it comes to communicating with the locals. Just make sure to give them all the smiles that you have, be friendly, and try to understand everything even though they cannot really speak the language that you are currently speaking, which is English maybe in my case. So sa Taiwan, hindi lahat ng tao doon marunong mag-English. You would really encounter a lot of people that would just use sign language or an app, a Google app translator. Try to communicate as much as possible. If you hear them raise their voice on some other cultures, that doesn't mean that they are mad at you. That's probably they're just being passionate about what they are saying, or it's part of their accent or their diction. So those kinds of stuff we really have to consider. We discovered this with our taxi driver in Taichung. It's an app called Google Translate. So you can just use the conversation tab, and then it will just let you translate whatever you're saying to the language that you want to convey. It's useful actually. Tip number 8 comes to food. I personally enjoy tasting different kinds of cuisine from different countries that I go to. So when we were there, I didn't really have the appetite to eat a lot. That's a bummer. But we did try a lot of milk teas there. My favorite milk tea was Shilin. We also tried this beef noodle soup. It's called Lao Shandong. It's one of the Michelin mentioned restaurants there, and it's really good. I mean, 180 Taiwan dollars. You'd be given a really big bowl of soup that is good for 2. I'm sure by now you know that there are a lot of famous night street markets there. So we visited 3, which are Ximending Night Market, Shilin Night Market, and then the HAHAHA Street Night Market. So out of the 3 that we visited, my favorite so far is the HAHAHA. It's a long strip of street foods and I had a great time. I enjoyed the food that I ate there and it was cheap too. So the recommended food that I ate there was this pork bun. It was around 50 Taiwan dollars. So you can try that one out. Ano ba natin na-discuss? So tip number 9, you can go as chill as just roaming around Ximending. You can go as far as Taichung. You can maximize the high-speed rail. Got our ticket for a 50% off. But it was from the Taiwan tourist, I think. Basta I just put in some link and then they give me this this coupon code that I used to book with Heyday. And then voila! 50% off tickets to Taichung. So when it comes to planning out your itinerary, so just plan it kung ano yung malapit dun sa isa't isa. Let's say, initially, we want to go to Yangmingshan National Park. But I discovered that along the way, National Park is actually near. Same goes with Shilin Night Market. So those kinds of considerations, just to make sure that you are maximizing the areas that you're going. Tip number 10. So tip number 10, if you guys are planning to go to Yangmingshan National Park, I highly suggest na mag-research kayo. Kasi nung time na nagpunta kami doon, unfortunately, lahat kami naubusan ng internet. Nasira yung packet wifi ni ganyan. Yung isa hindi gumagana. So, although we tried to remain calm, hindi masyadong enough yung research namin for that place. Hindi namin alam na yung bus pala, every 30 minutes yung ruta niya, yung ikot niya within the area. So, ang daming nasayang oras, naghintay kami sa bus, and It was also a bad timing because it was actually raining. So, nahirapan kami mag-take ng photos sa sanlamig. So, I took a photo of their bus routes. I will just post a photo here. You can just screenshot it and para to use it in the future when you go to Yangmingshan. So, basically, lahat ng bus nila hindi umiikot ang specific places, hindi sila pare-parehas. Yun lang. Medyo dumidilim na rin. So I guess that's it. Those are the tips that I can think of on your stay in Taiwan. Sana nakatulong yan. If you have more questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Just leave it on the comment section below. Don't forget to watch our stay in Taiwan. It's a 2-part video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Bye!